I am Margaret in Windsor. The name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers. I was kidnapped in 1941 and brought to Moulton, Alabama from Buckingham Palace. I was given the name of a twin. Both twins are dead, Peggy and Carl. That's the name. Peggy's the name I still have to use. I found out about my kidnapping in 1983 late after I'd run in a political campaign and had been flown out to Larry Flint's. One of the subjects in a book I wrote, unpublished because they almost killed me, 1978, one of the shootings was about Larry Flint. He was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of 78. One of the subjects in my book was Larry McDonald, U.S. Congressman and physician from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, a urologist. He was on the plane from Juneau, Alaska, the KAL, to Seoul, South Korea, that was shot down by the Russian MiG when it veered into their airspace. Now, I want to get to this. I found out about my kidnapping. My father's Edward VIII, married to Wallis. Not married, excuse me. I'm so sick right now, I don't know what I'm saying hardly. My father never married Wallis Simpson. She married an imposter, a double, and became the illegal Duke and Duchess of Windsor. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, school teacher, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe from Madison, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. And my Aunt Georgia, of course, has museums of art, and she had Ghost Ranch out in Abiquiu, New Mexico, near Santa Fe. Now, I wanted to get to, I have an immune disorder. I'm allergic to chemicals, and when force-fed, deliberately made a pauper, deliberately made to move using chemicals that I'm deathly, I shouldn't be subjected to them. It makes my immune system attack itself, and my immune system right now is so low because this has been ongoing. I've been putting it up on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm just going to cut to the chase right here. I'm in bad shape right now. I handed over every penny I had when I moved in here to the affordable corporate suites. And she had promised, she knows my illness, I'd stayed here before. And she'd promised there hadn't been any recent paving or renovation or et cetera, not going to be. Well, that was a total lie. When I came in, I had run from out where I was living in Troutville. Suddenly they had just come in paving and in front of my door and all around the parking lot, and I was so sick. So by the time I got here, I was really sick and didn't need this, and I'm not going to make it unless I have a way to get out of here, because she won't refund my money. So I either got to be here till next month on the 3rd or 4th, or dead, I guess, or hauled off. I'm really sick. It's my immune system. There's no cure. They put you on inflammation medicine because it causes mass inflammation. And even that can cause damage to your kidneys. And right now, she took me off of that almost after all these years, which is weird because now then I'm really in bad health from it. You should stop what's being done to me, okay? And that's force-fed the chemicals that make me so sick. So I'm going to say this. I came here in 86, October the 20th of 86, on the Greyhound, or on Trailways, I believe. But anyway, I came from Nashville up to Roanoke. I had to stop in Abington to get a money for a ticket, and the sheriff there gave me a ticket. I guess Salvation Army paid for it. And let me remind you that my father's Edward VIII, married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, not to Wallis Simpson. She married an imposter. So the very act of putting a lady at age 2, you kidnapped me and brought me here. My money, hostage money, in way of illegal treaties that were done that allowed the United States to go in and put all its military on British soil while holding me hostage, and my father at that time was a hostage in himself. His title was removed illegally, and he had gone through channels and had an attachment, an addendum to his forced abdication. It was a plot to take him down, and it worked. And it went through channels. It was legal. It said that if he had an heir, it would not disinherit the heir. Well, I was born 39, kidnapped in 41, and the day I was born, I was Queen Victoria II. It would have given my father guardianship and power of attorney and put him right back where he should be. So they kidnapped me, his own brother George, the illegal six, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Joe Kennedy, and JFK. And Joe Kennedy was ambassador appointed by Roosevelt, another Jew. They're Freemasons. They're the ones that control your press now. And yes, Donald Trump's absolutely correct. It is. And Hillary is a part of it, a member, just like Elizabeth, illegal Elizabeth II is. I wanted to get to my immune disorder. I'm so sick here. I may be redundant because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so sick. The only way is you have to get away from it, and all my funds are gone, and they're not going to refund it. And she promised me when I came in here, I told her what had happened out there about the paving, etc. This goes on and on way back, so I didn't mention that because she knows about my immune system. And I came here in a cab, and, well, it was a lie. I'll just say that. I gave her all my money, and now then I'm stuck until next month, and I'm not going to make it. I'm so sick. They had just paved here a month before I came in on the 4th of this month. They had just put in new cabinets. Then every time you turn the stove on, it heats up and without it, and I'm smelling the glue or whatever they put the cabinets up with. Well, the carpets haven't been cleaned in so long. I put a picture of that up. But the fact is that she promised me they were not going to do anything, because this is October, okay? It's cold up here. Day after I came in, she told me that. I learned of the paving because I asked. I thought, that looks new. And she claimed that it wasn't asphalt, it was coloring. Well, that was a lie. Of course it's asphalt. Everything she said was a lie, she told me. The next day, after I moved in, that'd be on the 5th or the 6th at the latest, they came in, I went outside, and there's hose lined up in front of the door all up and down. And they're doing carpets, and this is not Stanley Steamer. They did not do mine, and God knows, I don't know what all is on it. It's horrible. So the heating system is dirty and awful, but then they deliberately sabotage it. That's the way it's been until I'm dead or get to go home, and it stopped, which I hope it's soon, or I'm not going to make it, all right? Because she will not give my money back because the law doesn't work for me, okay? So I'm just set apart of this. Now, I want to go back to October the 20th of 86 when I came up here, and the lady on the bus was from the UK, England. And she said to me, before I got off in Abington to get a bus ticket on up here in the middle of the night, she said, she talked to me on the way up and told me my father, Edward VIII, was still alive at that time. And he was, and so was my mother. So she came on up here, and I didn't know where she was going, but by the time I got here about 3 o'clock in the morning, dark, no money, no clothes, no sweater, nowhere to go, in town I didn't know of, no money for coffee. She was there sitting, and when I came in, it was dim, and she and the person behind the desk were the only ones there. She says, we'll come back and get you here. Well, I started crying, and I went into the bathroom. I was so happy. I came back out, and she was gone. But anyway, a few days later, I went into the downtown city Roanoke Library, and I found out later that was my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, And she looked like Georgia. She had the stick and the black on. But when I kissed her, I thought it was Georgia because I started crying, and I don't kiss people, on the cheek or whatever. But it come to find out it was my mom, so no wonder I cried. But she was still alive, and my father was still alive. Now then, I'm going to work myself back and hope this I'm out of here while I can still get out of here. Oh, I just came, I had stayed here 5 years ago where I am now, and all this is happening. And I walked across to the new library. I can barely walk. It's not far, thank God. I got in there, and it looks like you had built it for me because it had the fireplace. It had beautiful, oh, you should see how the venting system and everything, the balconies, you look down, it is so gorgeous. It cost a fortune. And it's got the coffee and sandwiches, etc. And of course, at least where I couldn't, when I first came here in '86, didn't have a penny. So to go to the library downtown was a joke. I went there to stay warm, and they'll run you off, and you're on the street on your own and nowhere to go, begging for a place to stay. My jobs were blocked, and trying to show them Larry Flint where I run the campaign. Come find out they already knew, and tell them what had happened to me, that I should not be in that situation. And anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Excuse me. But I made it back today, and maybe you don't understand, but I hope and pray it's close to the 20th. Today's October the 18th. You got the debates tomorrow, and I hope and pray to God that I'm out of this hell that I'm in. I hope I get to see my children. And I looked at the little children running around up there. They were trick-or-treating for Halloween. And it's so beautiful. I couldn't believe it, that library there. It's the Roanoke County Library, Vinton, Virginia. And I thought, these little children are I loved everybody. But I thought, after a while, when you're so mistreated and money stolen from me and my country in the way of treaties, I don't know, and keeping me alive, I don't know how much money came into this country from the UK, from Britain, from Australia, New Zealand, Canada. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope and pray while I can still think and walk, because I'm in bad trouble here. I don't know what it is. I was already not feeling good when I came in here from the asphalt paving where I was. Now I come out of here and they lied to me. And I'm going to have to let this go. My immune system's so low, and out of the blue, my doctor has cut off the Namitone I've taken for inflammation, and I take something for high blood pressure. That's all I've taken. I mean, in vitamins. She cut it off right when I need it. You don't do that. They even made a joke about, well, I won't get into it, take a half every other day. And I'm really in trouble here. I need it to help me keep my kidneys, the inflammation from my lungs, etc. And I'm so sick I can't take it. I've got vertigo and everything. So I'm going to go. I hope I'm going home, and this is told.